this is what the day in the life of a data-driven advisor is. So first of all, they've got a CRM and they keep it updated, and they know the channel preferences of that customer. If that customer prefers text or email, they've got a CRM, they have accurate data, and they understand the communication preference, data-driven professional. And
CRM with ABM principles, account-based marketing, that you have, like you said, you understand preference, you've segmented, there's categorization, there's a way to personalize it so it isn't just generic messaging.
Cool. It's being monitored, by Sales Boomerang, and it's identifying the signals. There's lots of signals in the database, and it's identifying the insights of people that are most probable and most profitable to transact that day. And the data-driven loan officer starts making calls on those at 8 in the morning, between 8 and 9 in the morning, so that they're the first ones there. Like, let's face it, speed to lead matters. You don't necessarily want to call someone at 7 in the morning, but you're not calling them at noon, and you're not calling the next day. Like, you're calling your insights first thing in the morning. Any edits so far? Like, we're at 9 a.m. Anything you would edit?
Just a little addition, which is, and I love what you said earlier about embracing video. Making those phone calls, if you're getting a voicemail, I would follow up with a video email or a video text too. Let them see your face, hear your voice, be present if you don't get someone on the phone when you make the call.
And the only edit I'd have to that, and you send a text. Hey, I just tried calling you, and it's a multi-channel, multimedia reach out that's valuable. Like, you're not calling and selling, you're calling and you're servicing. You're calling with the heart of a servant, offering a service. And then of course, if you're with MortgageCoach and Sales Boomerang, you have a strategy. You're not just calling. Like, that data insight has created a total cost analysis, and you're calling up with the heart of a servant. And you're like, based on data, how you can help that person. There's a first-time home buyer in this house. That there's someone that it could be 911. Like, hey, their credit's going down, their credit's going up, and you're calling to help out. I hear these stories all the time. Like, I recently interviewed a top producer who called on a cash out alert and found out that it was a mom that was struggling because they had a child that they were taking care of, and she was like weeks away from quitting her job. And because the loan officer called, they were able to get some equity out, position the family before the mom took a leave of absence. So maybe you're calling to help a family, maybe you're calling to help them move up into a bigger house, but you're calling with a strategy. So any edits so far?
Nope, love it. I mean, you're calling with value, and there's a personalized pitch to that. While it's data at scale, it's unique to that person's situation. Using those signals make those conversations so much more powerful.
All right, so data strategy, you win by noon. Like, you've done your database calls, your realtor prospecting calls. The only thing I say, the data-driven loan officer, they're a local expert. Like, they don't just have news that can be looked up on Google and what everybody in America is getting. Like, they're localizing it. They're a local expert, and they're putting context around that. And I'm finding that a lot of the best loan officers actually have, I don't know, a half a dozen to a dozen slides, so that they're always just like, okay, they're delivering data-driven presentations with MortgageCoach, and they've got some Google slides or some PowerPoint slides with local data that helps families and realtors make better decisions. Any edits to that?
Yeah, I mean, Dave, there are two things there that one of them is my biggest pet peeve, which is when people share data and you use the word context, without sharing their expertise or analysis of it. So, like, if you're going to post data or you're going to send out data, you're going to email data, like, give your take on it, help them interpret it. And then, that second part then is, again, it's an extension of that, which is then, what's your opinion? Like, don't be afraid to share your take on, it doesn't mean you have all the right answers, but I think first you have to give context. Here's what this means. And then here's what I think, here's what my take on it is. And far too often I see people just grabbing really good content, posting it and saying, check out these stats, versus, hey, let me actually help you understand what these stats are, and here's what my expert opinion on it is.
Right on. I love this. So, and then my last, and I know there's more to it. So anyone listening to this conversation, if you're like, hey, you left out this, or what about this? Put it in here. I've always found that the most successful loan officers, they know their numbers. You know, they know their conversion percentage. They know how many leads they have. They know how many conversations they had. They know how many total cost analysis they delivered to a family, and like they're tracking that stuff. So they're data driven. You know, they always know how they're performing, and so you're kind of ending your day with, this many leads, this many loans, this many strategies delivered, aka mortgage coach. You kind of like, you're starting your day with signals, and then you're ending your day with reviewing the data. Any thoughts on that?
No, I think that's spot on. There's two things that I would like to add to that in the way that I think about how to keep progressing or evolving or innovating, which is consumption. So I would also time block for where I'm going to do my learning, where I'm going to be consuming, reading something new, watching something new, listening to something new that keeps my mind fresh with perspective and new ideas, and maybe trigger something else. I mean, the best writers read the most books. The best people who are creating movies, they watch the most movies. So I think there's got to be a level of consumption. And then this is just for me personally, but I always remind our sales folks, like, yes, I believe in back to basics. Yes, I believe in core foundational stuff that you should do, but I want you to build into your process taking some risks, because as you try new things, you're going to get new feedback from the market. Did it work? Did it not? What am I going to try next? So the two phrases I use a lot with our team are consumption and iteration. Constantly consume to learn more, and constantly iterate and try the next thing. And the quicker, the more we can consume and the quicker we can iterate, the faster we're going to get to successful strategies.
I love that. And I'm just going to add my color to that, because when I founded Mortgage Coach, I was trying to power my tagline, which was my advice makes a difference. And later, after I founded Mortgage Coach, that really helped me deliver on that promise to a home buyer or a homeowner. My advice makes a difference, and I'd give them a total cost analysis. I was a reader, I was a learner. And when I started interviewing top producers, I was doing it to grow Mortgage Coach, but I was, it's really become one of my best ways of learning. And so I think, to make it tactical for loan officers in this market, they're doing a monthly mastermind with real estate agents. And if you're all your realtors, you're doing a mastermind. You're like, if you're going to be a data-driven mortgage advisor, to your point, you need to consume content in books and podcasts that make you smarter, or else your advice doesn't make a difference. But you need to be doing it in a way that makes you a local expert. So what are your thoughts on, if we're going to go beyond the perfect day, like we define the perfect day, the perfect month, is at least one in-person mastermind experience? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, hey, as we would get together for a slice of pizza, and of course we would catch up on what's going on in our worlds and things like that, those conversations quickly shifted to, what have you read recently? Do you have any recommendations? What did you think about it? Here's what I read. What do you think about this? And we would sit there for hours and have a back and forth where we were learning from each other, making sense of our own world and our own thoughts. And so if you aren't programming those times into your routine to be around other really smart people, to collaborate and share those conversations and to consume, it's hard to become an expert in anything if you don't start by consuming. And the more you consume, the more that you can develop your expertise. So, it's very much a part of my routine every single month to, I a minimum, I'm trying to read a book a month, and I'm, seeking out conversations with someone like you, conversations with a Facebook group, conversations with a room full of real estate agents that I respect. I think you have to build that into your approach.